Hi, I'm Steve Shelburne, owner and operator of Shelburne RV here in beautiful Cleveland, Tennessee. Well, good morning. Welcome back to Shelburne RV. It's a nice bright Monday morning. Just getting the boys going this morning. I'm out here checking out my fence line. I came in this morning and that gate was open just a little bit, which you can see the lock. It normally locks, so I don't know what's going on there. I got no barbed wire on that fence. I got a fencing company coming out today to give me a quote on trying to put some barbed wire on there. You know, we don't have a ton of trouble, but we have had some break-ins, and we've had some converters getting cut off, and you know, it's another part of the business. It just kind of sucks. It's, you know, I love working on your guys' campers, and I get them up here and try to do the best job we can, and then you got the other side of the country that's all sideways on drugs and thieving and doing all that. And then, you know, that's one of my most favorite things to do, is call a customer and tell them their camper's been broke into. We actually had one that broke in about a year ago, and he was so drugged up, he actually cut a hole in the mattress and crawled into the mattress and was hanging out in the mattress, and he'd gotten into the customer's liquor, and we found him passed out outside the camper. But yeah, it's a tough conversation to call and tell somebody their camper's been destroyed because of some druggie. So kind of a bad deal. So yeah, it's just more money you get to spend on stuff, you know, that you could be spending somewhere else, but now you got to spend it on, you know, security systems and fencing, and you know, I wonder why the price is $149, $159, $189 an hour. So anyways, we're gonna get going this morning. I got Mr. James out here moving around Georgetown. Got to get some work done on it this morning. I've got another Winnebago that came in with a basement air problem. We'll go over here and talk about that right quick, and we'll get rolling. So let's go check some things out. Okay, so you see we've got that slide's out, and you can see the other slide over Lewis's head way down there. That's the other slide, the kitchen slide. But he's got all this out now. He's got all the linoleum pulled up. So we're going back with the LVP. We talked about that in a previous video. Now there was a little rotten spot right there. He's going to resolve that. And there had been some water in here, but this is still real tight, so we're not going to do anything with that. But you can see he's got all of it cut right there, and the piece cut across where that old vinyl is. So he's going to lay down the LVP now and get that in here, and then I've got all the metal for the wrapping the floors. I just got to get it down and get it broke right quick. So that's kind of what we're working on this morning. Let me take you around and show you one other thing we got going on this morning. Okay, so this 2003 Vectra, Lewis and I actually ran this on Friday. Customer came in and stated that it was only getting about 8 degrees differential. Not quite sure what was going on, so we got it plugged up to 50 amps. We went ahead and ran it through its paces. I had 7.49 on compressor 1, 7.17 on compressor 2. I actually, after an hour, had 24 degrees differential in the camper. Now, a couple things. What was causing it only to be running about 8 degrees differential? Well, evidently it had to have been only running on compressor 1. So this did have the original thermostat from the factory. It has the original board from the factory. So there's only a few things that could be going on here. Either we've got something going on with the thermostat, something going on with the power management system in the Winnebago, or we've got something going on with the control board. Now, the likelihood of the thermostat being kind of a problem, we know that's an issue, because we've seen that over the years of doing this, that the thermostat, that's just it's original equipment, man. It's 20 years old now. So we went ahead and changed out the thermostat, and then the power management portion of the lifeline cable that plugs in to the main control board, we actually went in there, and there's 2 wires that come off the lifeline harness for the power management, and we actually just did away with that. Now, some of you guys are going to be screaming, oh, can't get away with the power management, blah, blah, blah. Guys, you got to remember the logic on this board is kind of a power management system. And again, you know, hey, Winnebago did such a great job. They really overthought a lot of this stuff. I mean, they build the product better than anybody else. And, you know, they put a lot of thinking into that because of the power management system in there. But again, you know, it's like I try to educate my customers on some of the campers who don't have the power management. You know, don't go in there, turn both air conditioners on, turn the microwave on, turn the coffee pot on all the same time. It's, you know, it's kind of a little common sense not to go in there and load the system up. So, you know, undoing this one system for this could very well be the problem here. Now, I'm going to have the customer run that and see if that resolves it. You know, there's a possibility we may hook that power management system back up, but we're gonna test it and see. Now, I didn't get any problems with it. I let it run for, you know, over 2 hours, and we had 24 degrees differential on here. Now, obviously, I had a conversation with the husband, and he told me that he was getting a little bit of rubber ears because his wife has just been complaining about this, you know, unit not working. And, you know, again, if we don't have compressor 2 running, yes, we're gonna have some issues with the unit not cooling correctly. But guys, look at the color of this coach. You know, darker color coach, big windshield in the front. You know, all this stuff, and this customer's from Texas, so guys, we know it's hot there. All that stuff has got to cool down. I mean, you've got a coach that's got dark colors, and that sun's just beating on it. It's pulling in all that heat. You know, that big windshield in the front of that thing is just soaking in that heat. Now, he is running a cover on the front windshield, and he also has some reflective material that he's putting in the windshield also to try to help resolve some of the heat that's coming through there. But again, you know, this stuff doesn't cool down, you know, in an hour. It might take a couple hours. There's a lot of space in this camper. There's a lot of air that's got to change temperatures. You know, there's a lot going on right there. And so, you know, can't expect it just to, you know, in just 30-40 minutes to cool this coach down. So I think we've got him pretty well resolved. I don't feel like there's no reason to pull the unit out and start playing with the Freon charges when we got that much differential temperature. So thermostat, power management, we're going to go with that and let it roll out of here, and then and just have to see where we're at. But I feel like that's where we're at with that. So anyways, that's what we got going on. Let me take you around here and show you this this camper that Lewis has been working on. This Aspen Trail. We've got everything pretty much out of here. Let me turn the camera around. I'll show you what's going on here. So I'm in here in about a 2003 sport coach, Class A motor coach. Customer brought this in because he wanted to update the old wine guard antenna. So we have gone in here and updated him with the King Jack digital antenna, as you can see right there on the roof, and got it all in there, checked all the wiring, got it all hooked up, and no TV channels. So Steve, my technician, come to me and says, is there a possibility the TV's not working? I can tell you that's a great possibility. That's an antique television, 2003. I mean, we look back and think, man, that's not that far, like, long ago, but yeah, that TV wouldn't pick up no channels. So we've got this testing TV right there, and Steve got it hooked up, and 30 channels. So yeah, sometimes you run into some antiques. You didn't think 2003 was an antique, but it is now. All right, so we had a newer model Leprechaun Class C come in that we did a Sealtech test on, and we did have a little bit of leaking up in here, but the majority of the leaking that we had, this thing was blowing bubbles all the way down here. It was crazy how many bubbles it was blowing. Now, this thing should have had some seal between there, and it probably did, but it still was leaking. So we actually went in here and taped all this off, both sides, and then we put some clear M1 in there. Now, you're gonna say, Oh, that moves with it. I've shaken this thing so much. You can see me shaking on it right there. And this is all one piece. So everything's good on there. So we've got that sealed up and we're gonna retest that now. All right, so a little update on this floor Lewis has been doing. You can see he's got all the new LVP put in here, got everything lined up good. He's just working on some trim that he's got to put in there, and then we'll go ahead and put that island back in there, and then it's on to this. So we're back working on this Aspen trail, and as you can see, he's got the thresholds put in now, got all the flooring done, got the island back in, so everything's coming along on this. So the next project he's going to start on is going to be this right here, putting the floor in this slide. So I've got me a 2000 model Winnebago Adventurer that came in with no coolant in the basement air, and I've already done a little bit of diag on it this morning, and it does have the original control board. I did go through and check capacitors. Customer was stating that it wasn't getting only like 7 amps, 8 amps. So went in here, ran it. We did verify that both compressors are running. We had 6.7, 6.8 amps on compressor 1, but like 3 amps on compressor 2. So we've got a Freon issue on compressor 2. So we're gonna go ahead and get this pulled out, get it on the test bench, and then you'll see what we got going on. So we've got a big Alpha Gold in here that we're doing a bunch of service on, and they've got this Aqua Hot tore apart, and I want you to see how bad that is. This thing has not been serviced in a while. Now we highly recommend that if you're using that Aqua Hot all the time, that, you know, it needs to be maintained at least once a year. All that stuff needs to be double checked, blown out. The electrodes need to be adjusted. So this one here, somebody hasn't looked at that in a while. So just keep that in mind if you've got them Aqua Hots every 12 months. All right, as you can see, I've got this out and got the covers off of it. Look how nasty the coil is. Now, this is model number 6636 Alpha 871, built in 07. Now, this is a 99, it's 8 of 99, so 2000 model Winnebago Adventurer. Obviously, we only had 3 amps on compressor 2, and so I'm looking around for the oil leak. Looky here. That's a problem. So the other thing that's kind of interesting about this unit is only air conditioner. This is not a heat pump. So this is air conditioner only, and this was primarily in this year Winnebago, because remember, this is a 30 amp coach. So it's about power management in this coach. So we'll get this, I'm gonna go ahead and clean all this. We are gonna go ahead and change the bearing. Like we talked about, this brass bushing bearing, block bearing. Of course, you're supposed to oil that. We're gonna change that out with a regular sealed ball bearing. I'm gonna get all this cleaned real quick, take it in there. Gonna be careful not to get any water in that line. But we're gonna get this all cleaned up, and then we're gonna take it in there and get it all brazed up and recharged. So now I've got this tube all brazed back on this compressor, and I've got my tap brazed in. Now, this was all, you know, there was no insulation on there. And if you look at this high efficiency over here, all of these basement airs pretty much have got that line with insulation. So we know this line was vibrating because that's what broke this tube right here. So I went in here and wrapped all this with good insulation. In fact, there's the roll of it right there, that black stuff. That stuff works really good. So I went ahead and wrapped this just like the factory should have done. Because again, we got a lot of heat in here. And so this is supplying all the cold liquid to the evap. So we want to keep as much of that going here as possible. So by doing that, it obviously gives me the ability to keep this from vibrating. And then I went ahead and did the same thing with this one, just to make sure that we didn't have anything going on there where we can break any lines. So now that I got that done, I'm gonna go in here and change out that bearing with our new sealed ball bearing, get that changed out. And then we're gonna put some panels on it and see what it does. So we're getting there. We went from a 12 by 12 door to a 14 tall by 16 wide door. So that'll make things a little nicer getting in and out of the building. What are you doing, Cousin Gary?
Trying to seal this.
Trying to seal it. What did you change that? Looks like you had a bad hot water heater.
Yeah.
There's the old one. So going back with the Suburban 10-gallon. Great product, getting that put in there. Mr. Steve's over here working on this Alpha. We've talked a little bit about this Alpha. Steve and Brandon are both working on this Alpha. Now, they wanted us to check out the basement air on this Alpha. The problem is when we got in here trying to do the diag on it, no lifeline cable. Also no 110, but we found it all stuffed back in that hole right there. So there's a reason why they unplugged all this stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and pull it out and bench test it and see what's going on with it. All right, so we've got this one finished up. We just got done doing the testing on it. We actually had 21-degree differential on it. So this one's up and going. Just had a broke line, so we've got that fixed and it's ready to head on out. So I'm up inside this big Integra Class A motor coach, and you can probably hear the noise from my Sealtech machine running. And I kind of want to show you guys this because here's kind of the battle we're fighting with some of this stuff. And I'm gonna try to show you this. This is where we've got leaking. That's where we've got a leak coming in through the roof. Now, here's the problem. That leak could be way down there, or that leak could be way down here. And so that's kind of the challenge when it comes to trying to find some of this stuff. And I've had some customers kind of get mad at me because it's taken multiple times to try to find these leaks. Now, he's got that machine turned up as high as it'll go, and I don't know, you might be able to hear it. I mean, it's pushing wind through the doors, through the slide out seals. I mean, we have found the leak, we think, but you know, we're gonna seal all this and recheck it. But you know, when you start looking at all the stuff that's in this ceiling, this is very challenging. And so again, I got a customer mad at me about another one. You know, we Sealtech'd it, took it home. He said it's still leaking. Well, sir, how do we know it's leaking from a different area? I mean, we Sealtech new seals. When we put new seals in the slide, we Sealtech all that when we're done. We didn't have any leak there. So obviously we got a leak coming somewhere else. So, you know, this is a challenging part of the business that is very tough. I mean, this is why we have this machine. This is why we test all this stuff. But, you know, you find leaks and sometimes you fix them. Sometimes leaks are coming from different areas. And, you know, as much as you try to get it the first time, you know, this is a battle that we fight trying to find these leaks. So I just want to share that with you guys and see, because you know, this is a very very nice bus. There's a lot going on. I mean, Girard awnings, rooftop or slide out toppers, window awnings. You know, there's a lot of stuff that can leak. Now, this TV door, for example, this thing was leaking. So I came in here and did an adjustment on the door, and I've got it stopped right here. But there's air flowing through here. That's slide out seals. Now, that doesn't concern me much because, again, the water, that slides above what it is. Now, that's a problem. That door's a problem. But, again, this is the challenges we deal with. So just wanted you guys to kind of see that and see what we kind of deal with on some of that. All right, that's going to finish us up here at Shelburne RV for this week. Hope everybody has a great week. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. And as always, remember that this video is Cousin Gary approved.